So today I'm joined by Christiane, all the way over there in Germany. So hi, Christiane.
Hi.
So Christiane's got a really amazing story to share with us about her, about losing her sister or her sister's death. And we're going to be talking a little bit about unprocessed grief. So Christiane, just to start, could you just tell us a little bit about your journey? As in, how you were feeling, what led you to EFT matrix reimprinting?
As you said, my sister died. She died in the year 2000, and she had a riding accident. She was 35, had small children. It was really dramatic. But by that time, I hadn't learned to process negative feelings, and I just shut them down. I remember at that time being astonished about myself, that I felt nothing. I just was like as if it was far away. And in the years following that, there were other things happening, like my husband finding another job, and we had to move house, and I had a new job, and my daughter had a new school, and she was mobbed at school, and everything led up to me breaking down eventually in 2002. The burnout. Yeah.
Sorry, Christiane, you were just about to tell us then, but I was just going to say, what were your symptoms when you say burnout? A lot of people won't know what that means. I know. I interrupted you.
I was. One day we were sitting at tea with our family, and things had just started to get a bit calmer, and then it went like I got a panic attack, like, and I thought I was going to die. And that was the start of really a time where I couldn't sleep. I could hardly bear to be alone. I got really insecure, and I had panic attack a few a day. It was really horrible. And I went to see a doctor. I said, when you are like that, you probably don't get rid of it altogether for all your life. So, and I said, no. That's not going to happen. And I was looking around. I was seeing a homeopathist, and in one of these sessions, she told me, I have heard of something called tapping, and I haven't done it, but it sounds as if it could be of any use to you. So I didn't find a practitioner, and I bought a book, and I started tapping, and it helped. And it took me about a year to go back into normal life, to resume my job, to be able to go out and not feel anxious.
Okay. While you were doing the EFT, did you have any more panic attacks during that time? When did the panic attacks stop?
The panic attacks got less and less. They got less severe, and they got less and less. I just, it was the tapping on the one hand calmed me down, and on the other hand, because I had a tool I knew that worked in calming me down, it enabled me to sit those panic attacks out, and to prove myself I wasn't going to die. And so they get less and less. And it was about a year or 2 years after that I didn't have panic attacks at all. And for the next few years, 5-6 years, I experimented on EFT with myself and my family. And in 2010, I finally found a practitioner near where I live. And she introduced me to Matrix as well as EFT. And from then on, Matrix was, as opposed to plain EFT, gave me a tool to go at the root of things. Mm-hmm. I had EFT was like controlling the emotions that have been like brimming over. And Matrix was getting at the cause of it and like making it unnecessary for her to have these symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And there were quite a lot of beliefs, and I really I discovered that I'd felt miserable all my life without knowing why, and I hadn't learned to process negative feelings. I just had avoided them. And when my sister died, this was the big thing. Somebody dying unexpectedly, so dramatically. That was really, really too much for my system of coping.
Yes, when we go into shock, everything just freezes.
Yeah,
and
I was
we
looking back
process.
on it, I just froze. I didn't even feel my grief. Yeah.
So would you mind just sharing a little bit about some of the sessions, or the session that you did where you went back and worked with your younger self that hadn't processed that grief over her death?
It took quite a long time to actually get to this incident.
Okay.
There was a lot of other rubble to shuffle away first. So the topic of death was at the background of things that had come in front of this.
Okay,
and,
so you had other memories that were younger.
Yeah. I had things that I needed to clear first to be strong enough to face this big thing.
Beautiful.
And the climax of working on the death topic only came last year, when our dog died unexpectedly, or we had to put her down because she had lung cancer and was really suffering. And that was when I really went into that topic. And that was a gift of our dog to me. Dogs give you a lot. I've learned a lot from her about me, about dogs, about the world in general. And this was her last gift to me, forcing me finally to face this. And it led, as like so many other things, I found out that the root of what I was feeling or what I was experiencing was not with me, but generations before me. It was part my birth and part my what my mother and my grandmother had experienced. Because I had, before my sister died, I never had experienced a big trauma. I had a good childhood, good marriage, but apparently I had carried things, beliefs, patterns of behavior that came from my mother and my grandmother.
Okay.
And when I cleared that, I was able to cope with, today's death and traumas.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you mentioned the beliefs there. What beliefs? What were your core beliefs? Because Carl's.
My core beliefs were, my one belief I think was, I don't belong.
I don't belong.
Anywhere, and I have to exert myself I have to do things for others. I have to do what they want in order to be accepted or to be loved. And this is really a strange thing to do, because I have to work, and I never belong. It was really, really unhappy.
So you said that you worked on your birth. So did that belief come from your birth? Was there something that happened at your birth?
My birth was it was a belief of my mother's.
Okay, so you took that on from your mum.
I don't belong. And eventually partly of my grandmother's. my birth, the thing about my birth was it was in connection with this belief because it started that I believed that.
Right.
And this nobody helps me came from there, because my poor mother in 1962 was put into a delivery chamber and just left on her own for hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually see that playing out with somebody else's daughter as well, who was in the same situation. She was left on her own for about 20 hours, and the daughter very much runs that belief that I have to do it on my own. So there's nobody there to help me.
Yeah.
So you were telling me a little bit before, when we were speaking, before we started this interview, how you work with children.
Yes, I do. I have in another job. I still work in that, and part-time, and I earn good money, and I do EFT and MR as voluntary work. And it started because I give a private tuition to children who fail at school, and I soon noticed that most of the time it's not only that they need English grammar or math rules or something else, part that as well, but they need emotional support.
Yes.
And most of the time the children are open to that. And if it's the issue is the child's issue, it's often very easy to clear that. Sometimes when it's like the parents' issue and they are not open to work for themselves, then I just can't do much. But
could you tell us a little bit about the little boy with dyslexia that you helped?
Yeah, he was about 14 when I worked with him, and he'd been coming to me for maths because he was just, he said he can't understand it, he can't do it. And we were learning together for a test the next day, and I could see he was really in distress. He wanted to get it and he just couldn't. And I thought, would you be willing to tap? And I said yes. He said yes, and we tapped for a bit. What is that feeling, and where do you feel it, and have you felt that before? And he said, oh yes, I know where that was. And he went straight to an incident where he'd been ridiculed in front of class by a teacher who actually had said, you will never be able to do this.
Oh, blimey.
And so he did.
So that's where the belief got programmed.
Yeah. And he came back. It was, we tapped for about half an hour. And then when he came back from his echo and said, do you need any more tapping? And he said, no, but this formula. And then he just jotted it down inside, and he just knew it. And the test went okay the next day. And the amazing thing was he came to me for math but he was had been diagnosed with dyslexia. And he didn't need any tuition on that, because when they have a diagnosis, they are excused at school. They don't get any marks. And so we never worked on that. But after that, you could read his handwriting, and he didn't make any more mistakes. So this half hour just cleared that. And that was really the most amazing one-time wonder. Often it's so tedious work, but this was really great.
That's excellent, because you were able to pinpoint that exact moment where that belief got implanted.
and was facilitated, of course, by the boy. Knew me by the time, and he trusted me, and he just, when I told him, yeah, go to this boy you were then and ask him if you can help him. He said, oh, why? He's me, he knows me. So he was just like, it was just normal to him. The children are much more open than adults to this concept. But yes, this was really gratifying.
Beautiful. And he still remembers that session to this day?
He does. And he's now 19 or so, and sometimes drops by, and he's going to be a farmer, and he helps us in the garden when we need a tractor and things. And he said, when I say, oh, can't I give you something? No, I have just so much of gratitude to give back to you. And that's really lovely.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you learnt matrix reimprinting there in Germany?
I did, yeah, with Eva Gerrig in Bad Homburg.
Beautiful. Yeah. And Eva runs regular EFT matrix reimprinting workshops. Yeah. So a little shout out there for Eva. So thank you very much for spending this time with us. And if you were to have a little message that you could give to Carl Dawson, the creator of matrix reimprinting, what would you like to say to him?
Well, thank you. Thank you for making it into a workable tool. The time when I experimented with EFT, I'd been in the matrix. It exists. It was wonderful to find somebody who had worked out a system that facilitates working in the matrix, and it's really brilliant.
Excellent. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope that you get the opportunity to work with voluntary work with lots more amazing children, and I'm so excited for you that you've actually been able to do that. So thank you.
Thank you.